This is Alejandro Hernandez, and I am going to be doing a debrief about Influence Without Authority, a book about making yourself more approachable in the workplace and how to get what you want while not being manipulative and creating a bad image for yourself, and how to deal with different people throughout the workplace, whether it's your boss, your colleagues, difficult colleagues, people with different genders, people with different goals. It's how to get what you want and how to make sure they get what they want, so it helps create a relationship. It's quite interesting to read, and while I was reading it, I was able to identify some of the practices I already do in past jobs and in my current job, and it was quite interesting to see how I can better apply these and avoid some of the negative practices that I have used, and because I wasn't quite aware of them. And I have noticed how it's made situations a little more sticky when I could have approached it a little different way. But one of the first concepts that I wanted to find for like psychological content was chapter 4, which is about how to know what they want, understanding their worlds. I thought this is very interesting in being perspective. It's something I've been able to kind of master and understand, is how people approach their world. With one of my managers I've been able to identify that he handles a lot of the background environment and is almost overloaded with having to deal with other managers and how to get his point across in a very effective way. And with my team being kind of the forefront, it's having to deal with two sort of different levels of competency. And because of me being able to identify that it was just a lot on him, and it kind of reflected on our team a little bit, it helped me come into this concept number 2, which is how I like success for myself and handle that, which is in chapter 5, and knowing your resources and how to identify like what you're able to give and your pool of resources. And mine was being able to be competent. While one of the fields I worked on was very new to me, I was able to master it quite quickly. I'm a quick learner, and because of this, I was able to let my manager see that I can handle my team. And even though I didn't have like the authority for it, I was able to handle it and answer questions and being able to sort of anticipate reactions and just let him know that I avoided these outcomes, and like he didn't have to worry about it, and like I would handle it. And because of that, he was able to trust me and be able to give me a bit more leniency and being able to let me have more unofficial authority. And because of this practice, I was able to sort of step out of my department and go try other different things. And it added credibility to myself because it's something I wanted to do. And because of this, I'm now being looked at for a supervisor position, which is something I've wanted for career wise as well. And being able to have the authority that I unofficially had, but now I could potentially officially have now. It's just quite interesting to see, and how this has helped me kind of set myself up for success. And my future is stuff I've already done, but it's how to influence. And what I've learned is I do use language depending on what they want to hear and what they want me to be. One of my managers, he was a person very rigid. He was French. He had a very strict attitude to himself, and because of that, I kept my personality to the side, and I got work done, and he enjoyed that. And with one of my other managers, he was also a very strict person, but he also allowed room for personal boundaries to come into play. And because of that, I was able to be myself, and in a very friendly way, where I was able to be that person that he needed to laugh about, and being able to like manage his stress load and everything. It's quite interesting to see how I'm able to use my language to fit different types of people. Some people I have to avoid using informal authority, informal language, which is something I've been able to sort of identify in very quick conversations. With some people, I'm able to use more humor and things to sort of deflect and being able to get my point across. And it's something I've been able to master quite a bit, and it's helped me identify how I can get what I want through the managers with the position. So I thought that was just quite interesting to read about, and being able to set myself up for success in the future. And I think one of the really interesting things that I sort of have to do is how to make other people my allies. That's something the book talks about not fitting them into a stereotype based off one negative thing because people have off days. And I sort of struggle with that a little bit. I don't particularly do that off of one interaction, but when there's a buildup of interactions that are deemed a little bit negative, I sort of push them aside, where I could approach them more about being allies. But I think it's an interesting thing for me to be able to handle in that part, and something that I definitely do have to think more about. But from the book itself, that's primarily what I've learned, that I am good at talking and being able to influence about what I want, and being able to identify what they want and how I can make myself fit into that solution. So thank you.